What's up, vinyl community? It's Robert Fifth, and time to show my Stones. That's the latest thread going on in the vinyl community. Everybody got their Rolling Stones albums out. Now, one thing, when the thread is about a specific group, a lot of what happens is you end up seeing the same albums over and over again. And so, you know, how many times have you seen Tattoo You today? So I'll get to the albums in a little bit. I want to start off, though, with some DVDs, because not a lot of people have shown these. Gimme Shelter, great documentary about their Altamont Speedway concert and all the horrific events surrounding that. You get the Criterion Collection, has a lot of great bonus features. A K-San radio broadcast right after the Altamont concert with you know, people that were there calling in, Hell's Angels calling in, Rolling Stones I think even called in. But this great booklet as well in here, pretty intense stuff. Hell's Angels were security. Some guy threatened to kill Mick Jagger. He ended up getting stabbed. So Gimme Shelter, it's all on film. And then, of course, you get a great Rolling Stones concert to go along with it. Actually, this is in San Francisco, right? So, and it's music and it has a book. So this could be Mazzy's entry to Mazzy's latest San Francisco concert. Okay, Rolling Stones from the Vault. This is the DVD and CD for Live at the Marquee 1971. Shorter than a lot of the Rolling Stones from the Vault discs. This is pretty, this has only got a few songs on it. What is it, like, maybe like 10 songs? But it does have promo clips that they recorded for the song Brown Sugar. A lot of these great Rolling Stones from the Vault concerts available. Some of them you can even stream on Amazon. If you got Amazon Prime, you can stream them for free. Stones in Exile is the excellent documentary all about Exile on Main Street. What Rolling Stones fan doesn't love that album? This came out 2002 or 4 or something like that. But yeah, great behind the scenes, and really I love the fact that this is concentrated solely on that album. It's not like you have to hear the Rolling Stones' whole story over and over again. It's just really all about Exile on Main Street, and it goes into why they are in France and the whole like recording process. A little bit different than some other Rolling Stones album. Quite unique experience, and fortunately it's all captured here. Making a pretty entertaining documentary. Stones in Exile, making of Exile on Main Street. Rolling Stones, ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones. This was the concert film that played theaters, and I was missing for a long time. I remember I had a bootleg of this, and that's all most people had was, you know, like generation down version that was all like hard to watch and hard to hear. But finally, when it came out in style. Blu-ray, looks crisp, looks great, and for my opinion, it really catches the Rolling Stones in their prime with the Mick Taylor years, which is my favorite. I gotta make sure it's Mick Taylor. Yeah, Mick Taylor years, which is my favorite era for the Rolling Stones. But you know, it's the Rolling Stones. A lot of great eras. This is the one where, you know how like if you like the experience of ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones, and you want to go a little deeper backstage, maybe you want to see like backstage like Mick Jagger snorting cocaine off a knife type of backstage. Never still officially released, but there is, of course, this. I mean, and there, you know, this comes with it's a legitimate release, so it comes with like 300 different covers and you know, configurations. But yeah, you can go ahead and read the name of that yourself. I don't want to get banned from Facebook. All right, the final one of my visual Rolling Stones tour is the Blu-ray for the Some Girls tour. This was there's an interview with Mick Jagger on here where he says this was actually one of the first pay-per-view events ever, when most people didn't have pay-per-view, so they couldn't watch it, so nobody's seen it for like, you know, 30 years, but it was finally released on DVD. Again, looks crisp, looks great, professionally done, so definitely check out Some Girls if you're a big fan of the Ron Wood early, you know, late 70s type of Rolling Stones there. And speaking of pay-per-views, the only pay-per-view event I think I've ever ordered in my life was the Rolling Stones Steel Wheels concert in Atlantic City. They had a pay-per-view for that. I remember being in high school and just thinking it was so cool to see a concert at home with a TV, and you know, it was like $20 or something. It must have been played around Christmas or my birthday, because I remember it was a present. Anyway, that is finally coming out on all kinds of configurations, Blu-ray, DVD, vinyl combinations, and whatever. It's going to be the Rolling Stones 1989 Atlantic City concert where Guns N' Roses joins them. And so really looking forward to that. And awesome, it's going to be released On my birthday, hooray! All right, let's get on to the Rolling Stones albums. Now, again, you've probably seen all of these several times today, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go through them and try to give you a little something, say something about maybe that you haven't heard. Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers, first album, followed by 12 by 5 in the U.S. You want to get those in mono. I'm usually the stereo aficionado, all about stereo, but you want to get these in the first two Rolling Stones in mono. The stereo is fake stereo. It's that rechanneled echoey stuff that sounds like hell. Yeah, get the mono of England's newest hitmakers and 12 by 5. Rolling Stones now. I never understand why groups have albums called Now, because they're instantly outdated the minute the group puts out another album. But anyway, here's the Rolling Stones Now, looking nothing like the Rolling Stones Now. But this is the stereo one. I think the best way to listen to this album is the 2002 CD reissue, because this is where real stereo starts to come into the Rolling Stones discography, and it's mixed with mono recordings as well. So the stereo LP has the mono versions in that rechanneled fake stereo, and then the mono version obviously has the stereo songs in mono. So the 2002 CD release has stereo songs in stereo, mono songs in mono. For my opinion, that's how I would prefer to listen to the Rolling Stones. Now, we've seen a lot of these out of my head, out of our heads. The American one, you got the Behind the Buttons. Probably seen that a few times today. Flowers, Let It Bleed. That's my favorite Rolling Stones album of all time right there. They're all great, or most of them, but Let It Bleed, I think, towers above all others. Collecting Rolling Stones albums too. Let me get one that doesn't have that. If you do the London years, if you like collecting different types of fonts on labels, that's one thing about the Rolling Stones London releases, is they're pressed in 6 or 7 different pressing plants that don't have anything to do with each other. So the fonts on these are all wildly different. So if that's what you're into, the Rolling Stones would be a good group to do that with, if you're into collecting labels with all the different fonts. Another thing about the Rolling Stones on London, especially their earlier albums, is it just me, or do they seem to be a band where their albums are always beat up? I mean, ever since the 80s, when I started really paying attention to records and things like that, and going more of a collecting type thing, I always noticed the Rolling Stones had the beat up, faded covers and ripped apart seams and stuff like that. It just always seems like the early Rolling Stones albums were always all beat up. I never understood that was just a coincidence or what that was all about. German import, totally fake album. What's this? Gimme Shelter, songs from the Rolling Stones movie. This is what turned me off from buying weird imported stuff, because I bought this kind of early. What this turned out being is basically just Rolling Stones songs. There they are, recorded live. No, they're not recorded live. They're studio versions with with the cheering piped in. So there's that. Got some record store Rolling Stones here. Record Store Day from last year, I believe. They had the Rolling Stones, the two early compilations here. Of course, this is the original version of Through the Past Darkly, Volume 2. Excellent album. And I consider this an album because this was, for a long time, the only way that you could get Honky Tonk Women and Jumpin' Jack Flash on an album. So this is a great Rolling Stones album, even though it is a compilation. This is hard to beat the songs on here. And then when you have it on pretty vinyl, it just makes it even better. Here's Big Hits, the UK version. And like I said, that came from Record Store Day on wonderful green kind of minty green vinyl. And it also comes with the poster there. But there's that. And then what I showed you earlier was the American Through the Past Darkly. This is the UK version. Pretty much same kind of look, but slightly different track listing there. And of course, to get the record out of here, you got to go through all this. Let's see here. And I believe this is orange. Yes, very beautiful orange. vinyl for the Rolling Stones Through the Past Darkly Volume 2. And these both sound great. I'm not a big expert when it comes to reissues and current vinyl stuff, but these both sound great, especially listening to, like, you know, bad Rolling Stones masters for so many years. Okay, moving on. Let's see, what do we got here? First box set I ever bought. Rolling Stones, the singles collection, the London years. I really dove right into these guys. And this was back when box sets had the were shaped like albums, so they could fit in the racks. You know, it's shaped like, it looks like a record, but actually it's 3 CDs with this incredibly weird looking, you know, like unicolor per page book. Obviously, you know, loved having the lyrics and stuff, but is that the best way to present like photos in this, like, every color's like a construction paper kind of look to it? Just, you know, for something that was like thought of as being, man, you're laying down some money for this at the time, it was just kind of like, why would you do that with the book? Anyway, what did we put down here? Get Your Yayas Out. One of my favorite live albums, definitely. Didn't even have to do a double live. They just put it all on one album. I've said before in a different video that I love this copy. This is the one I've had since high school, and it has a back skip on it. And the back skip is during Midnight Rambler, and it's right on the beat. And I told a story about sitting there doing homework, not even realizing my record I just bought is skipping back. And it did that for 20 minutes before I figured out, hey, this is skipping. I'll put the skipping video at the end of this video too. Their second set of compilations, Hot Rocks. One of the best double albums ever. Especially, you know, this is the one that most people had. You know, if you had a Rolling Stones fans, not Rolling Stones fans, but like rock fans in the 70s and 80s, and they just had the one Rolling Stones album, it was usually this one. This is the one with everything that's great, singles from the London years. And if you wanted some more, here's the companion one. More Hot Rocks. And it's got a lot of great songs on it too. This has got Let It Bleed on it. But yeah, again, the blue London label coming with the variety of fonts. Sticky Fingers with the zipper is right there on the wall. I don't know if you can see that in a frame, but that's what the inner sleeve looks like. You've probably seen that several times today. Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll. I had gone to a record store and saw this used when I was a teenager for $3.99. I got sick. My mother asked me what she wanted me to go to the store and get, like cough syrup or, you know, whatever, Pepto-Bismol, whatever, you know, that kind of, like a pharmacy. I told her I wanted her to go to the store and get me the $3.99 used It's Only Rock and Roll. And she did. So there it is. Still have it. Goat Head Soup, that's been recently re-released in the big 50th anniversary. My question, if you have that 50th anniversary, I have a question for you. The song Star Star, how censored or uncensored is that? This is the second press of Goat Head Soup, U.S. pressing, and it's censored. And from what I understand, the first pressing is censored too. 2 parts. The part about keeping clean has the big, you know, has the weird backward, or I don't know what it is, double vocal thing going on. And then the part about John Wayne has a huge guitar overdub that kind of drowns out the vocal. This is happening too on the 2009 Virgin release. I'm not sure about the 2002 or whatever remaster, but I do know that the original CBS CD, that's probably that way on the vinyl too, is actually uncensored completely. So if you have this old, like from 1986, this old CBS Columbia Rolling Stones Goat Head Soup, maybe not get rid of it or anything, because Star Star is completely uncensored on here. Both parts, the John Wayne part and the Keep Clean part. And that might be the only issue of that, where it's completely uncensored in the U.S. I don't know about the U.K., but yeah, it's censored on the album, so I don't know if the 50th anniversary is like that or not, but what I'm listening for is Keep Your Clean and kind of a weird vocal overdub that makes it hard to understand. And then the part about John Wayne has a big guitar overdub, making that hard to understand, but totally uncensored on that CD. Made the Shade, kind of a weird kind of knockoff, just to, hey, let's put some songs together and throw it on a comp. Metamorphosis, one of those notorious, hey, it's our old label, let's go back into the vault and just pick out some songs that were made in the 60s and release them in 1975. Nobody will notice. You know, it's hard to argue that the Rolling Stones went disco when it actually says disco right there on the 12-inch single. Rolling Stones Miss You, there are several versions of this. The single version is not just an edit. The single version of Miss You has a different vocal recording altogether, and it is shorter. And you can get that single edit for Miss You on Jump Back. Compilation has that. Tattoo You, how many times have you seen this today? I'm just going to show it real quick. A lot of people loving that. A lot of people thinking this is kind of where the Rolling Stones kind of start tapering off here. And this is actually where my vinyl starts kind of tapering off, because I get more into CD. It's a great gatefold there for Still Life. But I get more into CDs, so, you know, obviously I have all the Rolling Stones CDs. When they first were remastered, back in 2002, the London ones, I'll just show you between the buttons here. They came with a certificate, so if you buy used CDs, make sure they have those in there. That's a first issue of the 2002 masters. I've got pretty much all of these. And what did I want to show you? So, just some cool things here, different type of things here. Let's just grab them all. Rolling Stones Undercover. Can you see that over there? Undercover. I think Undercover is probably their last, great album all the way through of their classic. A lot of people think want to stop at Tattoo You, but I think Undercover is actually pretty good. I love the song Undercover of the Night. Also, didn't show Some Girls and didn't show Exile on Main Street. Those are two Rolling Stones albums I don't have on vinyl. I don't have Exile on Main Street because I'm waiting to find the one in the wild that has the poster, the postcards. There's a lot of inserts that go with that one, and it's usually pretty expensive. And then Some Girls, I mean, I have these on CD, but I don't have the vinyl of Some Girls because I've made this ridiculous rule for myself that I want to get the exact one that I want. There's 5 points to it. Got to have bold colors, not the faded colors. Bold colors, blue on top, Lucy's got to be on it, Monarch pressing, under $20. It's the under $20 part that usually makes that not happen. Here's a Japanese import for Rockin' a Hard Place. Different mixes on there. Not their best song, but if you want some remixes, they're available. Flashpoint, again, one of the numerous live CDs that started coming out. Just really kind of, how many of these do we need type thing. Just a rare outtake version of Beggar's Banquet with a bunch of outtakes. Not a legitimate release. There is the Jump Back I was talking about, where you can get the single version of Miss You with the different vocal track. Which, by the way, if you don't like single edits, if you want album versions, like where they just cut a part out, you want to stay away from 40 Licks. That has edits of It's Only Rock and Roll and Fool to Cry and Undercover of the Night. Bunch of songs edited on that. I'm not sure about Grrr or Honk, but 40 Licks sucks. Voodoo Lounge, here's where they just start coming out with, hey, it's been 5 years. Bridges to Babylon, Stripped, has like a Rolling Stone on it. There's a radio promo for Out of Control. Just couldn't come up with a name for that. Radio promo for Memory Hotel. Memory Motel. I was actually at this concert. This was recorded in St. Louis when Dave Matthews joined them on stage. So there's the radio promo single for that. And then, of course, Bigger Bang, and then a single for the Grrr new song, Doom and Gloom. Not a lot going on here, just a really generic CD and just that, and nothing else. So that just about does it. I got a couple VHS. Still got 12x5 on VHS and Rewind. But those are in a box somewhere. Rewind's a great compilation too. Rewind was one of my first Rolling Stones post 1970, and I had that on a cassette, and that ruled. I love that. That's like a great companion to like Hot Rocks. You know, if you have Hot Rocks and Rewind, that's pretty much all a lot of people need. But of course, some of us need scarves and a Keith Richards for President shirt and a cup and a bottle of Rolling Stones liquor and a throw and a poster. Okay, that's my Stones. I showed them. Show yours. I love these vinyl community threads. I try to get on them soon because I know they only last for a while, and then everybody's got... I'm not watching the 25th video of the Rolling Stones. So I'm glad you watched mine all the way through to the end. Let me know about that star question, too, on Goat's Head Soup. Is that uncensored, completely uncensored? John Wayne and Keep Clean parts uncensored. Is that uncensored anywhere else? And, yeah. Thanks a lot again for watching. Please subscribe if you have not done that. If you're into vinyl records, I make vinyl videos all the time. Well, about vinyl records. The videos are not vinyl. They're like a file, like an MP4, I think. But thanks again for watching.